All right, let's call the County Commissioners Court to order. It's Tuesday, August 27th, 2024. Ask Ms. Waller to call the roll. Here. 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 George, the pledges of allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag. Please remain standing for the invocation. Father, we come before you today to seek guidance. I do not know what this day holds in store for us, but you do. We do not know who we will come in contact with today, but you do, Lord. Lord, we are aware of everything around us, and you make it possible for us to continue with our jobs. So we pray to you, lead us in all we do today. Help us in these matters which are stand before us. In Jesus' name we pray. Amen. Amen. The county's proposed tax rate published in the local newspapers. And this public hearing was announced at that time. And so I'm going to officially open this public hearing on the proposed tax rate. If there's anyone that wishes to speak on this, you'll want to click on the podium. We have a microphone. You're going to want to come to the podium and speak loud. I have a sign-in sheet from Deanne Welch, she'd like to speak on the public hearing on the tax rate. So she'll be our first speaker, but if there's anyone else in the room that wishes to speak on the subject, you'll be next. Ms. Welch.
To the budget prepared for this year, there's going to be an 11.5% increase in total property taxes paid. Half of that is new revenue from new construction. So new people coming here are underwriting the county budget to a huge extent. I represent the Libertarian Party of Blanco County. We don't believe that we should have a tax increase every year when they write a new budget. Fortunately, this year in the budget, they didn't have wild capital expenditures like they have years. But they still have to raise more taxes, pay for everything that they thought we needed last year or the year. We gotta stop this raising taxes.
Anyone else wish to speak on the tax rate? Public hearing. Going once, twice. All right, I'm going to close the public hearing on the proposed tax rate. I believe we leave it pending and it will be taken up in the first meeting in September as a general item on the general session. That takes us to the second meeting this morning. The second public hearing was also published in the local paper, and I believe it was on our website. This is a public hearing on the proposed budget. The proposed budget, I know, is on our website. Although the proposed budget that is on the website is the one I filed in July, and through the course of the last couple of meetings, the Commissioner Court has massaged it slightly, so there are some minor differences. But they've been publicly discussed in here each time, so it's not as if they are a secret. Is there anyone who'd like to speak on the proposed budget? Once, twice. Close the hearing on the proposed budget and return the Commissioner's Court to a regular meeting. And the minutes from previous meetings are up for your approval.
I'd like to make a motion to dispense with reading of the minutes.
Is there a second?
Yes, ma'am.
All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? Motion carries. Item 2, line item transfer. Review, ratification.
Make a motion to approve the line item transfers as presented.
Is there a second? Second. Either discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 3, outstanding bills. We don't have any of the other times this time.
Yes, you did.
So we have both paid and unpaid.
Yes.
Outstanding bills.
So I make a motion to approve the regular bills in the amount of $16,048 and the outstanding bills in the amount of $352,847.49.
Is there a second? Second. Discussion. Could be my writer.
Oh, that's fine.
Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Item 4. There are a couple of people here today representing Life Spectacular. You can see there's a list A through I of things to talk about. So it's Bible and
Peter. Peter.
Krieger.
The spelling of it is Peter.
Krieger.
Cough.
Okay.
Good morning, everyone.
So she's a new board member
Both of them.
and she's a new board member. Okay. And you're just a young.
Okay, so we are here to this morning to talk about this upcoming season for lights. And all the line items that we try to put it all together to you multiple times. First of all is the ask is that we do every year. It's timing of this event. So we want to make sure we're still good. For the summer, so good, people were approved, make sure we're still good. So I know that there's construction.
Haven't spoken with any of the commissioners about this, so this is our first opportunity to discuss it. I can tell you where I am on it, and we'll see if that's what they want to do. I think maybe they're going to, the contractor starts next week, it's Terra. And then that's called phase 1A, and then hopefully immediately after that, phase 1B or 1 starts with the actual scaffolding, jacking, whatever you want to call it, that stabilizes the couple. Nobody will get, I don't see our engineer or architect in the room. Nobody has given us a firm date. Nobody's going to do that yet. But all of the discussion, I think, has been that the phase 1 part can be done in a timeline that allows you all to have light spectacular. And I say it that way a little cautiously because you all start hanging lights a lot earlier. That you don't just come in one day and turn and put them up and flip the switch. It takes a while. And so it might be a little awkward, but we're committed I think committed that that's going to happen. You're going to have your lights hung and the stuff in the yard and everything else that you do for Light Spectacular. The reason I wanted to talk about it for just a minute is because during the discussions, there's been some talk that maybe phase 1 is really fast. I don't know, and I believe being skeptical, but on that front. But if it went really fast and phase 2 could start, I might be in favor. I personally might be in favor of doing that. That part, if you were around in '97, the steel beams that came through the windows, it was a major undertaking. And I don't know how they were going to do it how they're going to do it this time, but it's going to be a major undertaking. If they could commit to us that have that part done in time for you all to turn the lights on, even if you're having to see, I mean, it's not going to take days and days and days. When they bring the cranes in and put the beams in, that's not going to take all that long. Then there'll be the work around it that will take a while, but they'll be done with that part. And in my mind, theoretically, somebody could hang up lights. What I'm trying to say is if there's any way that we could do phase 2 and be done and out before Thanksgiving, I would want to do that. I don't know what the commissioners think, but it might be a little messy.
Is I'm sorry, the construction work is any of it, remember it's going to be totally inside.
The around the perimeter part will be the cranes. And they won't be here, I assume they won't be here any longer than needed to put the beams in. And then it's inside.
Yeah, I think.
Kind of sort of, yeah.
And we talked about this and we know that there's construction going to do. And I don't exactly the same because of the being able to access the cupola and points up there. So, you know, it may look a little bit different, but as long as we can get the only thing that I was in question of is that now we have access to the balcony. We put things and do now getting us speakers out in the way and worst case scenario we to use
have more construction experience and say, I just don't know for sure what it's going to look like. Theoretically, when they have the jacks in place in phase 1, that they're stabilized It's just not finished, but they're stabilized and they move around. However, the reason I'm hesitating is because when they do all that, I suspect it's gonna look like a big mess. You know, and I don't know how much maneuvering you're gonna be able to do there. I don't know yet.
It's written process, so. Understand it has to be done, just have to work through it. Just do-
I have sprung this on you and Dan this morning because the original discussion has been phase one before Thanksgiving, phase two after Light Spectacular is done. And that's still a possibility. In fact, that's maybe the likely scenario. Your heads are shaking, yes. But so the bottom line is you should get out of that we plan on supporting you being able to have Light Spectacular.
Oh my God. It's tentatively scheduled for the 3rd in October. So.
Okay.
You know, that's just the plan.
Sheriff, are you able to hear our conversations back then? Don't have good sound in here yet, but the acoustics are better than over there.
So that being said, as usual, we have our first the plan in advance, and we'd like to have permission to conduct fireworks in their usual spot, the annex in the other part of that set the trailer up that holds the fireworks. Of course, if there's not a permit. And the second item on the agenda is chili cook-off like we did last year. Everybody had a great time, it was fun. And we had a few parties last year. We came in at the time that we closed and we left when we were supposed to. And there wasn't any issues that we were made aware of, and shall have issues with. Take out this year, they're really excited to do that. They had a great time. That both teams signed up and anticipation of more local teams signing up this year. No, they didn't, but they did qualify and got to go to the next round. So, so I'm excited about that. Then the next one is we had a big band weekend, the very last weekend of the Light Spectacular, the weekend before the very last weekend, and it was set up on G, and I'm not sure that we're going to be able to have that series this year, just as far as studying goes. But we want to kind of presented that there might be a stage set up there on the corner of Cypress and G, just as it was last time. I don't see, I don't believe it. I want to make it clear that it might become. And so that hasn't been completed, finalized. And then one of the new things that we've had it many years ago, it hasn't been done in a while, but there is a variety of flyers that we have been in contact with, every from children flyers to adult local flyers to cultural flyers and also a college flyer. And we're going to request people to use the front lawn of the house. And we will have visors that would need to be brought in. So I'm assuming that we probably need to be placed on, like this does it, the trucks are driving on there, that there will be a set of visors that are donated by community personnel able to use this. So I just wanted to ask if it was okay if we put visors on and understanding that to apply whatever we can see.
What do you mean by riser?
steps up, visors.
Some choirs can,
See everybody.
the people in back can sing teacher.
We try
Yeah.
it. So there'll be a set of those, it's two sets, one sets, but two sets. But as long as we can get permission to use those.
Would that be like continuous or?
All the lines out that all the players can perform on Saturday and a time. There's a couple of them that, we'd like to have, and it doesn't work out that Saturday, we might be on Saturday, but this, that Saturday, the, 14th. So. And then, last year, I was asked if we could have movies on the lawn. And we do plan on doing that again. We have a snow day. And the placement would either be on the north or the east side of the house. Last year it was on the west side of the courthouse. The big projector screen to have a manual. It's just, another little space, holding down the projector screens postured on into different, and we have stakes that we would use for the details. And then, I know E would be, snow day. I think there's a lot of concern about what it would cost for the lawn if the snow was put on the lawn. But I don't think there was any issues with that last year. We did have it set up on the street. This year, I think the projection come from the lawn and go out to the street. We have a new snow machine that we are hoping to purchase, and that's we'll set it up on June again. John, concerns with this stuff we had last year. All right, and then last year we had the cantina on the city side of around the courthouse, the annex, and this year the intention is to put it on G. And so last year I did not ask to put the cantina, that's obviously alcohol beverage sales. And so this year I'm asking for a little broader placement. So in case we have to move anything around in our logistical layout, that we don't have to come back to you. So the proposed area is on G and Cypress, but just in case it has to go back on, I would like to so we don't have to come back.
Is that where was Number Con last time?
Last time it was on G. And there's no intentions of putting it up front, but I just want to put it out there that it would possibly be on county property. And I want to get approval before we get deep into mapping everything out.
I'm confusing it with the event. There was some event where there were half a dozen or more wineries.
Did it right out here 2 years, like the last 4 years has been on the front porch receiving so that's where it was before. And just in case we need to move it around a little bit, we'll expect. And then, of course, market days, actual placement, full length Cypress, all the way to G is market days will go for that weekend. And we also have in the planning, if it's approved by you to have another market days on the 14th, we can flyer session is going to be. And,
Okay. Are you about finished with H? I'd like to stop there.
Okay.
Minute. KR.
KRU.
So it looks like Kruger.
It's over there, yeah. Probably a little.
It's not ALOs. Yeah.
The G, you could be famous with Lockwood. So commissioners, if it's on you, unless you have you want to talk about A through H and just carve out I to talk about X, but I was thinking perhaps if there's objections, somebody could make a motion to approve A through H. Maybe. Somebody has a problem with A through H?
No, I don't have a problem with it. As in the past, let's just make sure that we are reminding or friendly to the people that live on G, and the bed and breakfast is there to try to keep them access and don't trap them in and block them in. That's one of our biggest complainers. But anyway, other than that, and the chili cook-off, just keep it like we did last year. I would like to make a motion to approve A through H with those requests.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Weir, discussion. So I think I could count 2 or 3 bed and breakfasts along that block.
There's only one bed and breakfast, and then there's 2 residents and then businesses. Well, and I'm just talking about on this block, right?
That block right there.
Yeah.
Between and Cypress.
Well,
And what I do. They are in the city. There is a letter that goes to and talk to them in person as well. So we do our diligence to ensure that.
I know somebody that lives there, so.
Well, how is we're being kind of cryptic with that. How is the one on the corner not a bed and breakfast?
That's a bed and breakfast, yes, sir.
You're pointing at the block.
The 2 stories. Yes.
Oh, yeah.
That's your statement.
No, the next, 2 doors down.
Right, but 3 doors down is isn't that a no?
No, it's an owner, the owners, Andersons live there. Well, they don't live there, but they use that, especially during the time.
Well, the good news is on. A driveway and covered parking side street on Cypress. Right? It's not to the access to the front door, but it's access to the. Where I'm parking, right to this couple. Hang on.
So with that, did we have a second?
So we were seconded, so we've been in discussion, I'm about to call for.
And then in discussion also with the understanding that y'all provide us with the insurance necessary. Okay.
Is there anything else that's over here you need to do? Hold harmless or? Yes, we did. And Ms. Ashby's around here somewhere.
And will all be sent on. Date to be sent again. Since
Is this approval to execute that document with county approval, with county attorney review?
Yes, sir.
That's part of the motion.
Yes.
Understood. Any other discussion? All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item I.
and how to distribute the yearly required funds for the county. But we would like to officially request to some of those funds because we can use them for many line items on the budget. Really needs asking for so much money from the public. So looking at this funds we're going to use this year. And we are requesting, like I said, we don't know how much is planned, we haven't seen the budget. We'd like to request $6,000 of funds.
presently on the community service page, the action page, there is for, I think, 6,000. Is that right? Is it 5,000?
It's requested by this year. So
And so what I'm asking is, because it's currently proposed at 5,000 this coming 24-25 fiscal year. Are you asking for 6,000 on top of that, or are you asking that the 5,000 really be 6,000 and come wherever it comes out?
6,000. The 5,000 is organized how the cost, the taking of the lights up and down. One company that stayed there. And the part of the expense of that trees.
So what's the 6,000?
The 6,000,
Yeah, so the 6,000 would. Whatever. So I communicated to the priors that were, some of them were recommendations, the 6,000 portion, it's just other events of that nature, of the art nature for the. To.
all the hopes to be able to do the big dances that those funds would go to help fund that.
So the biggest question, of course, is what can it be spent on? Exactly, can it be spent on? And actually the process of requesting those funds and releasing those funds, we haven't come up with yet. So we'll be in that process. I think there's a lot of work to be done on the county side that we need to get to prior to, but I think that I do believe that the funds, there should be available funds for that, and I don't see an issue doing it as long as we're meeting all crossing all our T's and dotting all our I's. You're good.
Supporting groups like the powers of the should.
Yeah, I know the judge will look it up, but I'm saying that I know there's specific things, do's and don'ts. And
It wasn't available for me today to send to you. Meeting last night. That's one thing that she was working on today. I think that she that's
do y'all receive any hot funds from the city of Johnson City?
sheer situation. Yes, we have received funds in the city.
Because, while it affects the county, seems just as a visual, it seems like it affects the city.
I think it affects it's not to have this during evening hours, but also encourage people to come early in the day and visit some of the attractions that we have, such as lions, and stay the night and enjoy the evening, and then go back, stay here, and back next day and do shopping. So that is the focus as for lights and how to build foundation that's created those maybe at night event, but also bring things during the day, such as the chili. So and earlier attractions like ranch boat earlier in the evening with fires and so forth.
And we're also like, just to speak further on that point and how since into the county, like that's our mission, right? Is so that we're not just live where people still want to take a picture and keep going. We want people to stay for the weekend, spend their money. Well, I think we know a lot of the larger businesses said I'm so staying, eating and drinking.
So for the commissioners, Amber has been in the process of, Ms. Fry has been in the process of working with the application. So whoever is applying for funds out of the hotel tax funds to the county can submit it, and it's not ready yet. And it had not been as high on the priority list because we were thinking, like the finance people or myself and people involved in collection, that it would take 2 quarters. Actually, I think it'd take more, but at least 2 quarters to understand what the collections are going to look like. We've received 1 quarter already by July 31st, I think, sort of. And but there's some thinking that it's a little larger than will be the norm. That even though the eclipse was not the event that everybody had thought it would be, that it might have been an aberration in terms of hotel tax collection. So we're still thinking that, so October 31 will be the day that we'll actually have a little bit better picture. Frankly, I think it'll be like January 31 or February, whatever, 28, whatever, that we'll know, we'll start to be getting a good picture of it. Having said that, I asked Ms. Fry to speed up the process, and so we're thinking we're going to have an application form for you all to approve next meeting. I think. Hopefully. And at that time, then there'll be something that somebody like Ms. Bible can fill out and present. And as a request for sharing hotel tax funds. I was trying to look up the words. I don't have them exactly. I can't find them, but the exact words are something like used to promote tourism, essentially.
And she did not do it. And she got the being letter to the city. It just needs to be properly addressed and not sent over.
So, might be more for a budget discussion later, but, I'm wondering if we want to get out of the community service page altogether, Light Spectacular, and put it over onto the hotel tax page. But I guess that's for a discussion toward the agenda. But for now, I guess the request is on the table for $6,000. I don't know the exact dollar amount, but $6,000 in the account. If you all want to consider that now or later or not at all, or what's your preference?
Judge, is that something that people need to reapply for every year?
That is part of the question that will be on the table probably next meeting. The policy matter. My preference would be yes. I don't think it should be a blanket one-time request and from then on paying out of the hotel tax. I think they should have a request every year.
So, but I guess my question is this something that has to be included in the budget, or is this something that can happen throughout the year if something was to pop up?
Now, most of the special funds, Harrison and I tried to build enough latitude so that things can be addressed in the special funds, unlike the regular fund throughout the year. I don't know that we did that in hotel tax.
So I guess with all that being said, I would like to wait until we get the formal applications and then have y'all fill that out and submit that, especially if we can push it through next Commissioners Court.
It's just. It may vary from year to year, the request that you're asking. And so we'll know.
Harrison has just indicated that we did, play year-round processing. What would you, given that conversation, what would you think about, making the request for 11,000? Not suggesting what the commissioner would do with that, making the request for 11,000 out of the hotel tax and us taking it in next, and so a while here, so 6,000, 5,000, whichever it is, all of the community services.
It really support. The finance, so they requested for the lines and so forth, I just looked at the balls and didn't see that something. But I mean, however we want to,
Well, how would paying for hanging the lights be any less promoting tourism than what you want to do with the rest of it?
The whole option thing is a bit odd, and like honestly, the only chance we achieved was when they got trouble, if they got told for it, and they didn't pay. So yeah, the lights does bring people here, but if somebody wanted to buy it, they can see that as, that's just decoration and how does that work. With the music, there's a restriction, I know, but the music and art, there's specific piece in the wording for that.
Literally, it literally is in print. It's touted as you can see it from outer space.
that's really the way I view that. If the finance work, it really is.
Well, what we might have to do is keep it in the budget, but maybe not use it if we can use hotel tax.
Absolutely. We can work those details out.
So to be continued.
Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Appreciate it. It's 35th year.
So by the way, I'm going to take this opportunity to veer off a little bit. I'm just going to ask you to, step one, and I want to ask you to be patient and stay in contact with Connie, but be patient because we're having to deal with engineers and architects, contractors, and this, that, and the other to get all this coordinated. Having said that, I wanted to, this is the only segue I have for this, but there are people in the room that are county employees, and I wanted to compliment every county employee I see for the marvelous job and marvelous attitude we had in evacuating the courthouse and taking up temporary digs and managing to make it all work. It's been, I expected much, much worse. I expected a lot of yelling and crying and such. And they've been amazing. And so I'm taking this opportunity through you to compliment them. Thank you. Work quick. Commissioners, I think that takes us to item 5, acknowledging the administrative order sets compensation for.
Make a motion to acknowledge the administrative order setting compensation and expenses for the Blankley County Auditor.
There's a second. Second. Commissioner, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 6, the electronic services contract for, the election. I thought he approved the report.
I just.
So I'll amend my motion to approve, acknowledge the administrative order setting compensation and expenses for the county auditor and assistants. Order reappointing Kelly Wemons as Blankley County Auditor and order compensating the expenses of court reporters.
Commissioner Eager.
Yeah, I'll second that.
Discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Motion carries. Now we go to the election services contract with Blanco ISD. I understand that the ISD is proposing a rate that is over the voter approval rate, which requires an election. And they don't. Good and valid reasons, they don't want to hold this election, they would like us to do it, so, Ms. Adami has, been working with them on a contract, service contract, and that's what you have before you, for your consideration.
I'm going to enter into election service contract between Blanco ISD and Rosemary. Blanco County Election Administrator to hold a special election order to be held on November 5th, 2024, pursuant to tax code 26.05 and 26.08 to approve the 2024 ad valorem tax rate of Blanco ISD.
Is there a second?
Second. That's fine.
I think I got Commissioner Weir. Discussion. Sadami, do you have anything to say? Well, I guess I'll ask you, so it's on the same date, is it just gonna be part of same election location and operation?
They'll share location with us. And it'd be all around it, but it would be a different, pretty good.
So this is part of the county's electronic process, and if I lived in Blanco ISD, my ballot would have all of the regular things on it that I'm gonna vote on, and the ISD proposal,
Yes, correct.
so it's pretty well folded in. Anything else? All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 7. Appointment of the presiding judges and alternate clerks for this election cycle.
So question, is that appointment the 24-25 or the 23-25?
It says 23-25, but I think the reason, I seen this, Mrs. Dami's here, but I think the reason for that is we're amending it. So we originally ordered election judges for 23-25, 3.5, but or the other dates wrong. It wasn't a biennium. And now we're amending it. It's a biennium amendment, if you will.
I make a motion to amend the order of appointments for the 2023-2025 presiding judges and alternate clerks for the November 5th, 2024 general elections.
Is there a second? Mr. Eager, discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 8. So, I did see Constable Stubing wander in, but I don't see Judge Riley anywhere. The ace, so he sends you to tell us that. As you know, we have publicized the vacancy. It's been in the newspapers, it's been announced for the commissioner court meetings for the last month or so. I think we only have the one application, but as good fortune would have it, it's a pretty excellent application if you study the credentials. Mr. Hernandez, are you talking about a bit? So you appear to be our lone applicant. Today is August 7th. It's the effective date of Judge Riley's retirement.
Right.
So it's time for us to appoint someone if Commissioner's Court so chooses. And you're asking to be that. Anything you want to tell the court?
That I appreciate the opportunity to for the consideration. The precinct 4 comments support me along the ways to this decision, but I'm ready to serve county's best.
There might be someone in the room that doesn't know your background or credentials. Can you give us the elevator speeds?
Yeah, absolutely. So, for those of you who don't know me, Joe Fernandez, been a visitor for 20 years, back in San Antonio. Fourth grade, graduated from school, grade 4, so 3, and worked for the police law. Recently retired and something to do with your for we to continue to serve the community, also serving the school board, just keep really. So, moment service, serving. It's a most special place to work, and we've got amazing people here. It's an amazing community, place to raise your family. Have one. It's a great place to visit. Serve my police capacity, putting 23 years of service, bring with this experience, that is a unique position. It's a unique program, learning position. So I hope that the commissioner's board will accept my application, considering for the position for justice of the peace.
Okay, I'm gonna pause the elevator one floor up, and because you kind of skimmed over that APD career, it's not like you were just a plain old officer. So can you tell them?
So I served Austin Police 23 years. As a football officer, units, metro units, focuses on crime suppression, serial narcotics, things of that nature, as well as the investigations division. Spent 10 years there as a persons, aggravated assaults to missing persons, property crimes. So bring with me some experience in dealing with criminal cases and civil cases.
As the question's been asked, are you currently with the ISD?
Yeah.
What's the plan?
So currently got some time meeting. That would be up for re-election in May. So I'd like to continue to serve on the school board. We've got some projects currently engaged right now to see through. Believe that case law allows me to hold both positions. Those are both elected positions. One is a paid elected position, the other is not. So there is case law on it. We've seen it both ways, but I think at the end of the day, it will be the decision that I have to make. And as long as it's within the law, I'd like to continue to serve here.
Yeah, well, it being the unpaid part, this isn't the provision institution about two positions of emolument.
Right.
This is about the other provision in the Constitution about conflict, and the JP in this county is the JPs in this county are kind of pretty much involved in juvenile stuff, which groups over into the schools.
It can be, yes, well, certainly.
And that's the issue I think that they might have as conflicts of that sort.
And there are things in place in the law that's accuse myself. Yeah.
Commissioners. There's a motion to appoint Joseph Hernandez as replacement for Justice of the Peace Precinct 4.
Is there a second?
Second.
Commissioner Eastman.
Discussion. Okay.
Look forward to it.
I've worked with Joe on the school board for many years, and it's always a pleasure. That was what you're doing.
Thank you. Actually were in management in Police Department, correct?
Yes. Yes, so then we is the senior investigator for several years.
Favor say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Congratulations, Judge. That's the last time I can call you Joe.
Oh, sorry. There you go.
Let's go. So Judge, we're gonna need to deal with a swearing in. Did you have a plan for that already? Because the notary can do it.
We're,
Have all the documentation, bond, all that information. So after this meeting, let's get with Connie and we'll set it up, make you official.
very,
I think that takes us to item 9, the possible grant agreement for the, this would be this is salary assistance, this is the SB 22, okay, correct? So. It's on here because it requires a signature in order to apply for the grant, and I wanted to, I think the court maybe has to determine whether or not we're going out for this grant before I sign it. So I want you to be aware of that. And then there's been questions about what are you going to do, what is going to happen with the money. So last time, you know, we've had long discussions about it. The last time the entire amount, I was about to say the entire amount went for salaries. That's not true, because some lapsed and went for capital items. And the auditor and I have had discussions. And if it's the same amount, it's another $350,000. And even a little bit, for example, the purchase of one vehicle could relieve the county budget by one vehicle. The part of the budget that we're going to be talking about. I'm just throwing that out there. What else do I want to say? Or if I'm not mistaken, and Chief, you may want to chime in on this. There was something about, it turns out to be about the same kind of money, something about the money for cameras.
That was for the remainder
Of this year, not next year.
can't be so.
Not a rush to discuss this. I suppose step one is to go ahead and apply and get the money in, and then we can worry about how it gets. Can't tell what you're saying. We've already applied. I thought we had not. So what are we doing on this item?
It's just to start a conversation of what the order wants to be done and which you guys proceed.
Okay, so we're starting the discussion, and I'm going to start it by asking you if you have any ideas or thoughts about what to do with $350,000 grant for the next year. We know that some of it is going to go to salaries.
But I think that we should look at the capital items that are in the current budget. And we should pull the ones out and be paid with that money and So that might give it the can, you know, the fourth portion of the cameras, or there's other things in there. Identify those things.
And if I'm not mistaken, you and the chief have already had that kind of conversation about looking at the capital items to see what might be.
I'm not sure. A number.
Or you kind of expressing the current, yeah, plan, because I've got some together and give her.
And apparently that's the point of this item today is discussion. So I guess it will be on a future agenda to determine how to apportion the grant money. Once it comes in, is that right?
Yes,
Yes.
I said,
And
Okay, the $350,000 distributed last time over 6 or 7 months. And a lot of it was distributed. Maybe 300,000. Yeah,
about
290. I was close. Now, that same money has to, if I work with the sheriff department, that same money is gonna have to last not 6 or 7 months, entire year.
Yes.
So it's a lesser amount per pay period.
perfect.
I'm trying to have a discussion here.
Yeah.
I guess I'm just pointing that out that, while we like to see some team-oriented process and maybe help out the county a little bit with capital items. Just to be fair, they are going to have to stretch that money further in salaries than they did this past year because there's more months.
Well, we gave the same amount, we gave bigger amounts per pay period, per paycheck to
Right.
get to the annual amount that they would have. So I guess the annual amount should change
I see what you're
and
saying.
hopefully it goes down.
So you're spending the same 290.
I haven't seen anything on paper as far as the number, but
But you could.
Are you thinking about?
The money's going to, it's the amounts a lot produced. And yes, the amounts, a lot of each of them we divided by 26 pay periods instead of the amount of pay periods that less. But the total amounts plotted hasn't been. The amounts would be a plot. It's like at the start out and even maybe more at the end, depending on the open positions.
It's gonna be hard psychologically to get a paycheck that's less.
There's been, you have to explain it numerous times to folks and they understand.
Are salaries the priority of this to start, and then whatever's left over, you look at capital equipment, or how are you approaching this?
Well, I think that it's fair to say that salaries were the primary driver. Legislature created this program. Now, they did include other things, but I think it's fair to say that the legislature was responding to, well, say, the Sheriff's Association that said, we're having trouble attracting people into this industry.
So you just allocate a certain percentage to hardware and the rest of it goes to salary?
When you say it that way,
I'm asking,
when you say it that way, it doesn't sound so good. I guess my answer is yes.
and that varies from year to year. It's up for debate each year, or it's set amount.
This is the second time it hadn't even been a year. It's the second time the grant has come around and it's only been 7 months. So I don't know that we can say, and though they promised that it will always be there, I'm skeptical.
I agree with that.
I think the best thing to do is wait and see it on a piece of paper.
Good,
See the proposal.
fair enough.
Thank you, Shelley.
Say that again.
It doesn't.
No,
Got time next, but we, or next meeting.
yes. Set the 14 year. It is, but they can still make a change if they choose. Yeah. Okay. Moving on to item 10. And really 11 also, with both the non-entering 24-hour thermal agency agreements for Johnson City PD and Blanco Beach.
I make a motion to approve the non-entering 24-hour terminal agreement between the Blanco County Sheriff's Office and the Johnson City Police Department.
Second. Mr. Riley, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 11, same thing. Blanco Beach.
I make a motion to authorize a non-entering 24-hour terminal agency agreement between the Blanco County Sheriff's Office and Blanco Police Department.
There a second? Second. Mr. Eager, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed. Motion carries. Item 12, security state bank agreement for the new head.
Yes, sir. We been working with Security State Bank and finally, their team of lawyers got together and drew up an agreement that, would like to, make a motion and, to authorize the county judge to enter into an agreement with Security State Bank for Blanco County and Blanco County ESD 2 to use and maintain a 60 by 90 foot helipad easement pending on county attorney approval.
Is there a second? Second. Commissioner Riley. Ms. Ashby, have you had a chance at all to look at it? The agreement between Security State Bank, ESD 2, and look at it. All right, because the motion is pending county attorney approval. So does it look doable? I'm not asking you to commit, just give me a clue that we're on the right path. Yeah. All in favor, say aye. Aye. Opposed, motion carries. Item 13, AT&T fiber optic cable, Rocky Road.
Yes, sir. I've been working with several different companies, and this is the one we got an agreement. We have Mr. Prescott here with us today who can answer any questions y'all might have. But as you can see, we have the more or less the agreement of our talks, and they have put it in letter form. Mr. Prescott, do you have anything you'd like to add?
Well, we have a cell site that has been out there for a few years. It's not able to be filled out. And there's also another neighbor that's not able to be one. We can't, it's not cast. Because we don't have, we have power, we do have power, so we can't get it back. So it's kind of sitting there until we can turn this on. We actually have another site, an adjacent site that will talk to that site. It's back on, it's dependent on this site having that back to this site. Both sites will be back on that. We've been working for several years with the fiber, and we determined that in working with Commissioner Eager, as we understand it, we'll be okay to run between the existing fence lines and the edge of pavement. And by not crossing the fence, we don't need to put our property, we're in county by the way. So we came out, Pat Kelly came out, we drove the site, Mr. Eager, and They came up with the game plan that will make sense. One crossing will be, the whole thing's gonna be done by board. So everything will be 3 feet below grade. Where we do make the one crossing, here again would be 3 feet below grade. We're taking all responsibility, should there be any damage. It goes back in, which stands over right of way. We understand that fiber will need to be pushed out as well. We take complete responsibility for that. If there's any county activity that might damage it, we take responsibility for that. So it would be 100% on us to do repairs. We're just grateful that the county would allow us to utilize this rather than just have to go out to find it hasn't really been taken yet and have to purchase property individually. It becomes a monetary issue that's unfair. So the public service utilities, this is an effective utility. So we're just here asking for your permission to and approve to proceed as things.
So speaking of untenable monetary issues, how is this different from a natural gas pipeline crossing a county road other than the size of the bore?
I don't think it is. We've got their agreement that, once they bore underneath the road, we have a 2-year commitment that if anything goes wrong with the road, they will bring it back to the condition it was in before they bored.
Yes, but that's nice, and that's the least they should do. But with 7 or 8 bores a few years ago of a much larger size, the county and many of its sister entities received a sizable community investment.
Yes, sir. That was not discussed, but they are going to complete their project there on the driveway entrance. Was never seen anything on of that. The culvert ends.
What about there's a fee, published fee for crossing the county, right, anyway, excuse me, crossing a county. How much is that?
Oh, there wasn't a per foot charge or anything. It was just an investment that we talked about.
I don't think there's an actual fee listed, maybe it's in the subdivision. There's a fee. I hate to mention it, I want to say it was like $375, but some small amount.
No, well, I mean, I don't.
Because we charged Kinder Morgan fee for 7 or 8 road crossings, and then there was the community investment agreement on top of it.
And I can't remember what it was. It was a 60-foot right away that we had 7 of those, and they paid us a certain amount for that. But if I remember right, it was not a permit. It was their agreement to invest in the community, if I remember.
In any case, and I think when I say that was from the when they had to make a reroute and they wanted that going through the paving, Collins paving.
Yeah, 165.
Yeah. Not paving, actually, the middle agreement, I guess.
That's right.
But the point being, why is this different?
Oh, I don't see a difference in it other than, what I was gonna ask you is for one thing, there's no expense to the county on this at all, right? And may I ask you in the long term, how does it affect the county?
Well,
As far as my constituents that live out.
so the emergency services, there's FirstNet is interoperable that is dedicated to emergency services in the event of calamity, be it by storm, man-made or otherwise. So what that does is those frequencies are cleared. So city, county, federal, all the different emergency services agencies will have those dedicated frequencies for their specific needs. Also, 5G is out there, which will be, so it's got DoD, G and, the first step is part of that DMV. So another thing I would say is, in the event, by having more, the more you have towers out there to help triangulate, if someone's under stress, by having those towers, we can increase the triangulation, start to zero in, and somebody gets lost. If somebody, it can be to find somebody, if the city, county, police would request to access that person's location, you can get that down to 5 feet. So the more towers that we have out there, it will help increase that triangulation. Over time, it can be down to the foot. But this would certainly enhance communications out there. This is rural. I'd say the other tower that talks back to this tower is even more. So these people would have access to get some.
Where's the other tower at?
The other tower, it was further to the west. I can't tell you exactly.
Is it in Blanco County or?
I honestly don't know.
I think it's in Gillespie County because that's right at the edge of Rocky Road. That'd be on the west end of that. Of our county.
And that would shoot back to this tower.
Well, Judge, if there is a we call it a permit or whatever, a fee to go underneath the road, y'all be willing to pay that.
I thought there. So,
It's been a while since
And I wasn't in on any of those negotiations. I went to Helen
yeah,
on my end. Reason I didn't pursue the large donation from them was we allow the electric companies in to place their poles at our 30 foot off the center of the road. And we don't, only thing we get out of it is rural people get electricity.
it's kind of a big deal.
So,
Did you make a motion or?
no, not yet. I would like to make a motion to authorize AT&T to install fiber cable along Rocky Road to include boring under said roadway pending county attorney approval. And if there's any fees that go underneath the permit to go underneath the road, that they will pay them at that time.
There's a second,
I'll second that.
or weird discussion. All in favor, say aye. Opposed? Motion carries. Item 14. White Creek Lane to Tootsie Trail.
Yes, sir. This is a piece of property that was split between the kids of the family member. They would like to change the name of the road from White Creek Lane to Tootsie Trail to honor their deceased mother.
It's your motion.
Yes, sir.
Is there a second? Commissioner Riley, discussion. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, motion carries. Item 15, private road subdivision.
I've got private road subdivision. Back at us, and there are 3 variances that is approved prior. And so this one, I make a motion to accept the private road subdivision with the said 3 variances that include a 200-foot center line radius near the end of the proposed east that way. A chip with a 60-foot right of way to preserve some substantial trees. And a retaining wall within the proposed right of way this way at the entrance of Ranch Road 165, approximately 85 in length. To the left or the west side, and we put to the right or east.
Is there a second?
I'll second.
Discussion.
So first thing I would like to say is the text dot permit has Barnett County listed on it. So I did talk to TxDOT this morning and there was a clerical error on their part. So we just need to make sure that that gets changed. You can amend it to,
So I'll amend it to state accepting this with the change of the text dot application from Vernon to Blanco.
Commissioner Ware is your second.
Yes, yes.
Discussion.
With the way that y'all have it drawn up now, I've noticed it on the front property, y'all call on that is the permit that you have with TxDOT, does it have that in mind?
yes, it says minimal commercial.
Okay, all right.
Did we have conversations about that? Past about what kind of commercial?
Yes, but that was all still here, and the lot sizes for that were different. All that has changed on how that looks up front. Because it was gonna be like a 3 acre lot, and now it's
10 acres.
10 acre.
I think I'm asking a question to answer for, but I'm just curious, mostly it's curiosity because it's out there away. So do you have any idea what kind of commercial activity is anticipated?
If there was to go on there, the last I understood, it was gonna be restaurant or Michael.
Point for person to make it wider. And so we have the option to potentially turn it into a forest pond. And so the piece of the board, we have this originally for 1, change 10. Because
So the answer is we have no idea what it's going to be yet.
back to anyways.
I know, I'm just asking.
Yeah. It would be whatever is consistent with the residents there. And I know Michael lives there as well as.
Yeah, I mean, and that's what I'm asking the questions, because unless I'm mistaken about who this is, it's cool, yeah, it's real. So I was wondering, basically, we're creating another commercial area. I'm not complaining, help misunderstanding. I'm just curious because I'm traveled that road a time too, and it's that area, and I just wondered what kind of commercial is about this.
I think it'll be a little bit just. It, allow a business, it's gonna be, if you go there, you must tell them. To serve it would be, I know it's, I think it was minutes or.
There's a motion in a second, the 200 foot variance, the
Yes.
variance to 200 feet, what will be the regulated out? It's not 200 feet. It's like, this is like a cul-de-sac, right?
No, it's on.
It's a radius.
It's a radius on the corner. And if it's over to say, 2 or 3 blocks, trees right there, it was just brought in a little bit, that 200 radius right here. That radius right there.
Okay, because the oak trees I thought were another variance, so.
No, that's the 60-foot right of way. He's got some massive oak trees that are within the 60.
Okay, but there were 3 variants.
Right, there was one for the 200 foot that we were talking about. And then there's one for the 60-foot right of way, actually the road. That's 2, and then
The
the
walls.
entrance.
Okay. Anything else? All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Item 16. You have the latest, greatest proposed budget, with the tweaks that have been made based on the conversations over the last couple of meetings. I don't have a listing of new stuff. You, okay? Well, besides these, something besides the VA's request. Yeah,
To 8.
correct. Right, okay. Right. So. If you want to take up this request, I have mixed feelings about it. They claim it was a innocent error. I should have said it that way. I don't have any doubt it was an error. From 10,470 to 20,000, the DA's office. Well, you can read, you have to. Question about it is, well, actually, I got it. It seems to me that they're saying if they think there's going to be more trial work in Wayne County for the coming fiscal year, and that's why they're funding. I think we can make that adjustment. We won't be changing tax rates or anything else. It'll just have to either decrease something or increase the transfer from the transfer. If you are so inclined. And I think that I would appreciate it if that was a separate motion if on this request, just so we have a good, clear record of it. And other than that, it's open discussion. Anything else you want to talk about on the budget? While you're thinking about it, Chief McMahon, what do we call you now? Marshall McMahon. Marshall McMahon. Are you able to balance? We're in this temporary period of you having to be both a full-time fire marshal and a full-time student.
That's correct. I'm currently the law enforcement academy out of fire inspections, which is going well.
Which one?
It's going well.
It's going well.
But no, I'm able to do inspections where it is people used to the like Saturday stuff.
Giving them the opportunity to absorb the budget a little bit and in the meantime, maybe get a little update. What's going on this new project?
So academy's going good. It's a different goal again. Let's go. Bringing this condition, maintenance. That's what Wayne Bay. It's about everything. It's different.
As part of all the courthouse musical chairs you have moved.
Sir.
It is where,
It is, there was.
so it's still in the same building, but
Same.
upstairs.
Amen.
So I make a motion to increase line item 10,452,407 from $10,470 to $20,000.
Okay.
24.
Second.
No? Am I wrong? Come on.
No, he's talking about the DA's report.
So I wasn't, just clarifying that.
Can you give me the line item again?
It was 10,452,407
Increasing it to.
to 20,000. Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
20,000.
Is there a second?
I'd say,
Discussion. Commissioner Weir, seconds.
yes, ma'am.
Commissioner Weir, seconds. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
All opposed. Motion carries. Make that adjustment. Anything else on the budget? Otherwise, it and the tax rate will be teed up for your ultimate approval on the 13th.
Okay, was there any other adjustments that need to be made, or that all the numbers in here?
The not. Make the county bill. No raise, that we see, but we raising maintenance, so in general, because we had it through, we will get it.
Yeah, what page was that?
29.
So
And it should have gone.
it's been talked about, and we,
502, the line.
and we increased it last year some, but you're right, the new buildings are coming on.
Yes.
So let me ask you this. You have maintenance of, you got 506, 530, and 546. Do you want to, do you want to keep them separate? Do we want to be? Or do you want to just keep it all under one line item?
So the reason I would argue for separate is just to be able to tell what buildings are costing. What the South Annex cost us separately.
And then above and beyond that, would you take all of those and put it under the maintenance department? Okay.
Because it needs to be determined by. You know, these fire department. Determined by the bill or. Sheriff, judge and sheriff. It's not worth it. Spend it. Out of those budgets. They have to come to us with PO anyway, and if it's over a certain dollar amount. That's something that we need discussing.
Okay.
And not just, yeah, we need this, I need to give. I'm gonna say, we're gonna do this out of this budget. I don't think that's appropriate.
Salisbury, do you have a second?
It's a. Maybe.
Taking this opportunity with that discussion to get your feedback on the recent developments in the maintenance department and our acquisition, how that's going. And the reason I'm asking you is because your office is one of the biggest users in the maintenance department. So any report?
Amazing. The new maintenance supervisor has been prompt. She communicates daily with us. If, for example, we have an issue with the air conditioner or water heater and software, and she's communicated every development every day along the way. There have been some increases. She's communicated all of them early, so the jail can prepare for such needs accordingly. She communicates with the sheriff and so, which is huge because there's a lot of she's been made. We've seen quotes, we've seen talked about, and she's been made. I don't think I can say $8.
complaints? Any complaints? I just wanted to, I wanted the commissioner to be able to hear that.
You know, there's information that we have requested years ago. For example, the generator, the generator rules. Within 3 days of her taking the position, she got that information. for us. And again, stellar.
And the answer was,
Yeah. Because we do, we keep the restrainer every year. So it's. She did get it to me.
just curious.
Just curious. Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Other thoughts on the budget? What am I missing?
Do we want to increase that amount?
Oh, maintenance.
Do you want to add
The thing
separate?
about this, this particular sheet is, unlike, some of the others, which the auditor will not let us stray from. This one, in particular line can run negative so long as the overall does not. And if it runs a little negative, it gives us a feel for next year, what we need if we underestimated. And that's what you meant when you said thing. Negative. The other thought is be proactive and increase it. And we only have what, 1, 2, 3, 4, potentially 5 new buildings.
However, majority of those buildings will still be under warranty. So, they shouldn't, I mean, the maintenance side of it shouldn't be tremendous. However, she can start making, notes on what it costs for the filters and things of that nature, so maybe next year we might look at splitting it out and putting it all on different line items per facility.
Had you had a thought if you wanted to increase it, would you suggest it? Yeah, this building, the air conditioner, 14, so. No, and sometimes I wonder if that's how it works. That's good for you.
We're good.
Anything else on budget that you'd like to discuss? Still feel like missing something.
That's fine. It's good.
This is in the, we'll get contact from 6 to 8.
Okay. Then since no action to be taken on this at this time, again, it'll be teed up at the meeting 13th, and that takes us to item 17. I know it just rained yesterday, and it looks cloudy today, but when we put this on the agenda last week, it looked bad. So
I myself believe it's still bad. Even though we got in the shower too of rain.
Yeah.
And the engines are driving. There's a lot of grass and ground. This Nathan, this is light driving over this in hard end that I learned 4,000. States that are very slow. So I'm. Hard end, we need to get the client here. Usually we're in hard end. recommendation and then issue a permit.
I was told that on Sunday that Mason Fire was only 50% contained.
It was 9%. It happened overnight.
But I talked to a Mason commissioner and they were, he said that they were well under control. It's just their containment lines are based on Doja lines and there's a lot of open fields in that area and everything else, so, and roads surrounding it. Yeah,
Some counties do straight 500 above. I think with out of the forecast, there is rain changes, some areas not so much, such as around now. Capital roads and it is, and there's a lot of the county. Six side. And the burn bands on burn ban one is lower, so all of them got.
Kendall County did theirs this week too.
Do you remember? Yeah, to your point. Been hot for. Really?
Yes. Actually, we stated it, I think. Past that.
Well, if we're lucky, we'll have a good rains in September.
It's, tomorrow was.
and I know this is kind of an awkward, if we would have talked about, if this meeting would have been last week, I'd have had no issues, no concerns. But when I'm looking at the forecast and I know it's small percentages and it's a greater percentage, it's not gonna rain. However, it's pretty hard to, throw a burn ban on there right now with, I got 50 and 60% chances of rain Sunday and Monday, and even rain chances on Tuesday. So, I kind of have a hard time. I have a hard time with that one.
Yeah. Counterpoint. Be a couple of weeks, maybe. Probably. So I'm just experiencing really dry grass and cranky cows. So.
Yeah, I mean, we get a bunch.
I guess I would be in favor of doing even for a short period of time. The burn ban, but I'm not gonna make the motion, so we'll see what these four say.
I'll support it here.
But like this morning, I had pretty good rain there in Round Mountain. So, if I was to want to be burning a pile, it would have been a prime time. So I would hate to put a burn ban on, and if it's a prime time to burn that last pile that you have left, that's my only concern. Because yes, it's not gonna last forever.
The closest fire was in Mason, that you know, I mean,
Yeah.
in the county. You're- Yeah.
I've been very.
With that said, I'll make the motion to, put the burn ban on until September the 10th at 12 noon. If we have adequate rain, in the meantime, the judge has the authority to, lift the burn ban.
No. He can't lift the burn ban. He can put the burn ban on, right?
You can actually,
He can lift it.
if you get court orders, you can make it, you can saddle me with that, yes.
It's 2 weeks. It's 3 weeks, because that's the next commissioner's court.
August the 13th.
Well, Tuesday is, Tuesday 3rd, Tuesday 10th, that's the second Tuesday in the September.
It's the judge job, lift it.
10th. My mistake. All right. Is there a second?
Trustee If something burns up.
Second. It takes us to item 18.
I'll make a motion, we adjourn.
Is there a second? Mr. Bradley.
I got that.
All in favor, say aye. Carried for return.
Yeah.
TV.